Hi folks, this is Tim, aka TurboBB. With today's video I will be reviewing Crelant 7G9. This is their latest thrower, which features 1020 lumens on high, 145 minutes of runtime at that level, 700 meters of throw, 75,000 lux at 1 meter for the peak beam intensity, as well as 1.5 meters of impact resistance and 3 meters of water resistance. Right, so the light arrived in this plain cardboard box, relatively nondescript. It's got a foam lining on the top. The light comes packaged in a wrap, no additional foam cushioning there. A user guide, and let's see, what's this? A spare O-ring as well as a short lanyard. Okay, that's it. Just put that on the side. Take the light out, and it's a reasonably large light, as is typical with any thing that claims to be a thrower. Formula entails that it has a nice, deep, smooth, large reflector, which this actually does. I will get the exact measurements in my forthcoming review, but for now this will be a high-level run-through of the light. So, with that said, starting at the head, there's a stainless steel crenellated bezel, and as you can see there's an anti-reflective coating on the lens. Right? Okay, so it looks like this bezel is easily removable. I won't get into that now, but again, I will cover that in my review. The tail cap is actually a solid piece here, even though it looks like it could be opened here, but I'm not able to twist that out, so I'm assuming it's either glued. So at the end here, there's a rubber tail cap cover that lies beneath these crenellated strike guards, or tail cap guards, or strike bezels, I guess, at the tail end. Thus allowing the 7G9 to tail stand. Okay, and likewise, the crenellated bezel here would allow you to see if the light's on when stood on his head. I don't have the batteries installed yet, so which I will get to soon. As you can see, the laser engraving fairly sharp, no blotchiness. Okay, there's Crelant emblazed on the side, and here's details of that it runs on 3 18650 batteries with a low of 2.75 volts to a high of 6.5 volts. Right, massive amount of heatsink fins here. Okay. So with that said, got the light apart now. There's no spring on the head, so this is actually reminiscent of the Nightcore's TM11 setup, where there's just a giant ring for positive batteries. So if I'm not mistaken, complete flat tops will not work with this light. So I'll verify that in my review, but that looks to be the case right now. On this end, the battery tube is actually a pretty solid, hefty piece. So this is actually all solid right all the way through. Not sure if you can see down here. Let me get the light there. Okay, there are 3 springs at the end, and again, it looks like the tail cap should be unscrewable, but again, I'm not able to get it off right now. Again, I'll cover in my review whether or not it can be. So there are 3, I'm assuming gold-plated or brass springs down there. Again, we'll confirm in my review. Okay, O-ring here, and what looks to be nice square cut threads. Alright, so overall fit and finish. This is my first exposure to a Crelant product, so, and I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, but hopefully someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but feels very solid, and don't really notice any anodizing missing. Typically they would show up on sharp edges around here. Texture, this is very smooth, so to be honest with you, it doesn't really provide much in the way of a grip, but considering if you hold the light like this, this ledge here should provide some I guess a ledge for your fingers to rest on, so it does provide some grip. So with that said, this rubber tail cap cover feels slightly mushy in the sense that there's just a little bit play here before the switch actually engages. Alright, so it gives it a slightly spongy feel. I mean, personally, I don't know, some people may not care for it, but me, I'm not too crazy about this feel, but perhaps, I don't know, maybe this can be swapped out with a different tail cap cover. Right, so with that said, there's these mounting holes here for lanyards or perhaps a wrist strap or whatnot. And let me go ahead and grab 3 batteries, shove it in. So I purposely selected the XTRA 18700s because they're my longest and widest batteries. It is a snug fit, but nothing, not heat shrink wrapping, scraping. Well, potentially it is a little bit tight on the tight side. Okay, I didn't seem to have as much problem with this earlier, but wow, that one actually was relatively tight. Alright, let me get this shut off actually first. I'm wondering if it's because this is actually stuck out a little bit. Oh yeah, it is. So again, it looks like it actually is a fairly snug fit. So something to keep in mind as you're trying to go through your battery choices. Okay. So obviously this is a thrower, so it should have a fairly tight hotspot. Grab a piece of paper here as well as something for the camera to focus on in the background there. Okay. Now I do have the camera on auto white balance, but it looks like it's trying to compensate for the ambient room lighting. So again, this isn't actually representative of what I see. That on the camera it's actually fairly blue, but in reality the hotspot has a very, very light hint of green. Around the hotspot, I should say the Corona actually has a very light hint of green. Hotspot itself is a decent, I guess, neutral white, but again, nothing as blue or green as you could see on the camera right now. Alright, so now the switch is a forward momentary clicky, so you can activate the light by just half press, and then to cycle through it, okay, from high, medium, and low. Right, it's just 3 modes. No blinkies to deal with, no strobes, no hidden modes either. Right. Now obviously the question on everybody's mind must be like, well, how does it throw? So again, I'll get to that in my review, but for now, see, this sponginess of the switch really does make it a little difficult to engage if your thumb is not exactly at the right angle. So this feedback I will be providing to Crelant. Okay, so obviously on everybody's mind is to throw. Again, I will get to that, as well as some hopefully long distance outward beam shots, but for now, hopefully a comparison versus the TN31's hotspot should suffice. That said, let me just get this level so we're on an even playing field. Okay, so you got the TN31's hotspot on the left here, and the Crelant 7G9's hotspot on the right here. Subjectively, to my eyes, I know it's probably a little hard to tell on the video, but it does look like the TN31 has a brighter hotspot. So again, I'll confirm this in my upcoming review along with actual measurements. Right? It's a shot of the beam size to show you the hotspot, the 7G9, and then by comparison, TN31. Alright, I'm going to shut these off and give a quick compare about the size of the head. Of course, the auto white balance is all a little screwy right now. So let me actually get this fluorescent lamp on. Alright, slightly better, but so again, 7G9 does have a fairly large diameter head, but the TN31 edges it out. Perhaps the reflector is a little bit deeper as well, but again, I'll get actual measurements in my forthcoming review. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a rough idea of the 7G9 for now, until I could get the actual review up. And here's a quick side-by-side for comparison purposes. I will have a picture of the 7G9 versus a few other lights in the initial preview. So, alright, so that wraps this video up. Thanks for watching. Take care.